Tissue engineering is the practice of combining cells, a biomaterial template, and growth cues to restore, maintain, or improve tissue and organ function. There are three categories of sources of cells used for tissue engineering. The first one is autologous transplantation. This is when cells are taken from a patient, cultured in vivo, and transplanted back into the same patient. Allogenic transplantation is when cells are taken from another individual and transplanted into the patient. Xenogenic transplantation is when cells are taken from an organism of a different species altogether and transplanted into the patient. The cells used for tissue engineering can be one of two types. Stem cells are cells that are not specialized and can differentiate into more than one type of cell. These can be embryonic, which are controversial because they involve destroying an embryo, although they have many applications. Adult stem cells can differentiate into blood, liver, bone, and cartilage. They can be found in many parts of the human body. Great potential lies in induced pluripotent stem cells, which are cells that have been taken from differentiated cells and transformed into stem cells. Differentiated cells are already specialized and will not turn into another type of cell. Differentiated cells may also be used in tissue engineering. There are two approaches to tissue engineering. The first is using a scaffold without any living cells, and the second is using a scaffold with living cells. Since it is difficult to culture this 3D high-density cell population, it is typical to use a bioreactor. A bioreactor creates the proper environment for cell culture and provides the proper nutrients, temperature, pH, and oxygen supply. Tissue engineering has many applications throughout the body. These include with the skin, liver, pancreas, heart valves, cardiac muscle, blood vessels, nervous system, and bone. Tissue engineering, when applied to skin, is mainly used to treat burns and deep wounds. This is difficult, though, due to the complexity of our skin. Hair follicles, glands, temperature control, and neurological sensing all pose complexities. Currently, the treatment for liver failure is a liver transplant, but hopefully with tissue engineering, we will be able to create a whole new liver in vivo within the next few years. The pancreas is an important organ, especially when it comes to insulin regulation. Currently, insulin injections are required for people with type 1 diabetes who lack islet cells. But with the proper tissue engineering construct, islet cells could be protected from autoimmune response, therefore curing type 1 diabetes. When heart valves are dysfunctional, a mechanical heart valve is used. This valve cannot grow with the patient, however, so hopes of tissue engineering involve a construct that can grow with the patient and will have less of an autoimmune response. The heart is a very complex organ, so when damage to cardiac muscle occurs, the typical treatment is a heart transplant. Tissue engineers are currently working on a patch to help heal cardiac muscle, but it's difficult due to the mechanical needs and vascularization needs of any tissue in the heart. Blood vessels are an integral part to the human circulatory system. Currently, when a blood vessel is blocked, the standard of treatment is a stent. Stents pose a risk of endothelialization and thrombosis. Tissue engineering may circumnavigate these issues by creating a blood vessel that is more similar to the host and mimics the mechanical properties. Tissue engineering has been used in the peripheral nervous system to form a bridge to help reorganize axons. There is much research going into tissue engineering of the central nervous system because as of right now it cannot regenerate or repair itself. Tissue engineering hopes to change that. There are many applications of tissue engineering for bone regrowth and regeneration. Inorganic, polymeric, and hybrid scaffolds are all used. Vascularization and appropriate degradation kinetics are key for bone engineering.